Okay, balik po tayo. Ito na ang text naman ni Edwin ng Antipolo, 0920-880-1300. Kare, what can you say about the recent news sought to petition Senator Miriam out of the International Criminal Court? Is it possible? Well, alam po ninyo, sinuportahan ng government itong nominasyon kay Senator Santiago diyan sa ICC. Bakit naman kumot bumoto siya against the impeachment ay gusto siya i-petition para tanggalin siya? I don't think it's right. No, I don't think it's fair. The government has already positioned and committed its support to Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago na maging bahagi siya po ng ICC. Sa akin, ibayaan niyo pagpatuloy. Now, I think that while dito sa ating Senado, kung pwede niyo sabihin na nagdadrama ng konti dyan si Senator Santiago, and I hope that one of these days, pagiging panauhin din natin dito si Senator Santiago, pag pinagpala tayo ng Panginoon, madidinig din ninyo sa kanya. Yan lang sinasabi ko. I don't think they should continue with any kind of petition. Ang bansa lang ng Pilipinas po ang napapahiya. She is entitled to her views, and many of the views that she expressed during the impeachment court to explain her vote not to impeach are very, very potent legal views. Marahil hindi masyadong nauunawaan ng panglawakang masa, ang nakita lang nila bumoto kontra sa impeachment. At medyo dramatic ang kanyang mga statements at sinabi. But many of the statements of Senator Santiago during that, things were very, very valid and very, very important. From 0930-891-3018, Alma from Palawan. Sir, ask ko lang po, ano na ang nangyari sa kaso ni CJ Corona after po niyang makonvict? Thanks po. Hindi ko po alam kung ipagpapatuloy nila ang pag-uusig kay kay CJ Corona, lalo-lalo na sa pamamagitan po ng pag-uusig ng ombudsman o kaya ng BIR. Biglang tahimik at ano dyan, baka siguro pinag-aaralan nilang maigi. At sa akin, kung talagang nakuha na nila lahat ng ebidensyang kailangan at ito ngayon ay hiranap nila sa Senado, nakakatiyak sila na matibay na mga ebidensya ito at valid na evidence from a criminal prosecution standpoint, they should file the cases right away. Pero ngayon siguro pinag-aaralan nila, baka nag-unos dili sila kasi marami dun sa ebidensya nila is not acceptable or it was not procured in the proper way, and if they go to court on it, it will be thrown out. Lalo-lalo na, for example, when the ombudsman, I am sure this is going to be questioned if she files a case against Corona, former Chief Justice Corona, na yung ebidensya na nanggaling sa AMLA na hindi naman dumaan sa korte habang ang batas na nagsasabi, kung ito ay gusto mong gamitin na ebidensya, kailangan humingi ka muna ng permiso ng mga korte at magpaliwanag ka kung anong iyong gustong gawin. Ay hindi niya ginawa. And you will recall that it was Senator Santiago who questioned the ombudsman, si Carpio Morales po, si Ginang Carpio Morales, about her not going and following through the proper process to validate and obtain what she was presenting to the Senate. Alam po ninyo, kung minsan sabi nila, paano naman, political process ang impeachment. No, political process does not mean license to do wrong. Political process does not mean political assassination as one newspaper person wrote it. At, there is still the obligation to do things the right way. Ito nga kung minsan ang ating napapag-usapan dito na habang matino ang ating hangarin, ang paraan ng ating pagsisiyasat at paglilitis kailangan maganda at tama din. Kanga nila, the end does not justify the means. That is the meaning of due process. From 0930-891-3018. Hello po, good evening. Lagi ko po nanonood sa inyo. Ay, salamat po marami. Hindi lang po ako nakakapag-text kasi globe kayo. Hindi po, ang pagkaalam ko, smart kami. But you can, even if you're smart, you can text to Globe. Marami po kasi kayong nabibigay na info tungkol sa ating bansa. Salamat po from Palawan po. Ay salamat po sa pagtangkilik ninyo at nawa patuloy po ang inyong panunood. 0915-781-0727. Tessa ng Marikina, good PM. Maraming balimbing sa mga congressman at senador kung sino nakaupo doon kakampi tulad ng yung nangyari sa impeachment. Di ko rin iboboto yung 20 na nagpapa-name recall lang. Thanks. Alam po ninyo, ang sasabihin ko sa isang bagay, hindi naman panibago itong pagkabalimbing ng sino mang nasa Kongreso. Sapagkat alam ng mga taga-kongreso na pag kinalaban mo ang administrasyon, ikaw ang madedehado. Wala kang pork barrel, wala kang project dito, wala kang project doon. Eh anong sasabihin mo ngayon sa mga naghalal sa iyo? Nanindigan ako sa prinsipyo, eto, nasero ako. Pero alam po ninyo, mayroong ibang mga dating congressmen na nanindigan pong ganyan. Alam po niyo, binalik at binalik ng taong bayan sila sa Kongreso. Bakit? Yung mga, siguro yung mga butante doon sa kanyang distrito, nag-iisip at alam, tama ang puso nito. Alam mo, kumisan di ko malaman ang Pilipino. Meron kumisan, nagiging masyado akong siniko, tiniting ko, ay ayaw ng taong bayan ang matinong liderato. Sinasabi nila, pag ikaw'y nasa pwesto, hindi ka nagsamantala, ikaw ang gago. On the other hand, tapos nakakakita ko ng paraan na nare-re-elect at taong walang pera, hindi binabayaran ng butante, pero matino ang layunin, alam nilang maaasahan na manininding sa katuwiran at tama, ibinabalik naman nila sa Kongreso, hindi nila pinababayaang matalo. Saan tayo pupunta? Nawa po sa mga araw na ito, dumadami ang kakampi ng gumagawa ng tama at matuwid. Sa tunay po, hindi yung sa mga kakampi lamang gagawa ng mabuti. Tapos uusigin lahat ng kaaway. Hindi po yun. There has to be, in politics, there has to be some degree of morality. Hindi po pwedeng paganong-ganon lang. From 0919-237-2352 from Ray of Baguio City. Good evening, sir. When some leaders do not follow the Constitution and rule of law, the people who are religiously law-abiding will be demoralized and chaos is not far from imagination. Oh, how correct you are. You know, sabi nga nila, for evil to prevail, it's just enough for good men to do nothing. And part of what our contribution to nation building here is to point out when I think some things are wrong, pero ang pasya sa inyo pa rin. Kayo ang nag-iisip dyan at kayo po ang nagsisiyasat na pinagninilay-nilayan nyo yung issue. You look at all the sides, hindi lang yung biglaan, hindi, kontra ako dito. Damdamin lang po yun eh. Hindi tayo pwedeng mabuhay ayon lang sa damdamin. Hindi ko sinasabi maging plastic tayo, pero hayaan naman natin sana na konting rason at logic mag-prevail sa ating pag-iisip. At hangarin natin yung wisyo ng Diyos para siya sa atin ang anumang kalagayang humaharap sa ating buhay o humaharap sa ating bansa. Okay? Ito naman, medyo cynical ito si 0922-829-6231. Sabi niya, hindi kaya ng AFP na sugpuin ang mga NPA kasi kasabwat nila. Well, that is an opinion. I'm sure there are times when they talk to each other, but maybe only to a certain extent. Hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na talagang sabwatan. Well, it's the same thing that they are saying na game of the generals daw yan sa AFP, as one of the texters had sent to us here. Nasabi niya, kasi gusto ng AFP merong gera. Bakit? Baka dahil ito po nung nakaraan, marahil hindi na ngayon, nakikinabang yung mga field commanders. So yung perang nilalaan sa gera, marahil kung kalahati nung pumapasok talaga, pambili ng supplies ng sundalo, etc., etc., ay maswerte sila. Kanya ba, hindi ba, naging skandalo nga yun na yung mga sundalo natin nandun sa kagubatan, ang kanilang mga botas ay wala, nagkakadurog-durog, wala silang makain, kulang ang supplies nila, hindi sila binibigyan ng sapat. Kanya nangyayari kung minsan, nagnanakaw na lang sa mga mamamayan, kumukuha ng manok dito at baboy doon para meron silang makain. Eh wala naman silang pambayad. Kanya po talagang kung minsan problema. But I think the AFP is beginning to go for the better. Medyo ni-restructure na nila yan. Yung, alam mo po saan nagagaling karamihan ng katiwalian dyan, yung sa tinatawag pong conversion. Ito ang budget mo para sa ganitong bagay, kino-convert para gamitin sa iba. And many of the field people were given the authority to do that conversion. Pati na nga yung controller dito sa, kanya nagkaroon ng kalakot-takot na problema yung si General Garcia dahil po doon. From 0906-248-8950. George Lopez, Baguio City. Hello, George. Magandang gabi sa iyo. Bakit laging binibida ni Pinoy ang pagpapatanggal niya kay Corona? Si Corona ba ang dahilan kung bakit tayo naghihirap? Well, I was hoping, this is personal on my part, I was hoping that after CJ, Chief Justice, ex-Chief Justice Corona was impeached, natatahimik na ang ating Pangulo. Pero I see that when he went abroad, he still began to speak so badly of the CJ. Now, hindi ko sinasabing ito yung sinasabi niya. But you know, wisdom would require or would demand, merong kasabihan po sa Kastila, no? Lo cortés no quita lo valiente. You know, courtesy does not remove your vigilance or your courage. It is not the mark of a courageous man to be gracious in victory. And this is what I think a lot of people were hoping would happen so that we can begin to bring healing to this nation. Maybe on the part of the President, iniisip niya, hindi, umpisa lang yan si Corona. Kailangan niya babat-baratan para makapasok sa isipan ng tao na hindi pwede yung ginagawa ni Corona. Well, ang tinatanong ko dito is, kung ang corruption dito sa atin ay napakalawak, and I don't think anybody is going to deny it, hindi mo naman pwedeng gawing sacrificial lamb si Corona lamang at inintay mo na mababago ang buong sistema. Oh, it will take a lot more. And frankly, I don't think 160-year term of a president can change things so drastically. But it can be a good beginning. But as I said, if you focus on the negative, all you're going to get are problems. I think what the people are looking for here is some degree of balance, so that while we are attending to some of the negatives, let's also concentrate on some of the positives and move on. And that is where the question of people, ano bang vision, ano bang roadmap niya, etc., etc., hindi raw masyadong nakikita. Alright, from 0919-865-6036, ano kaya kung ang mga maraming squatter dyan sa Maynila ay dadalhin sa mga bangketang bakanting lupa ng gobyerno at suportahan ng gobyerno hanggang makarecover sila? Kasi sabi ng gobyerno, sila ang sakit ng ulo ng government. Galing itong suggestion sa taga-Benguet province. Alam po ninyo, many times this water problem is a local government unit problem. And what they do with government property, kasi po, pag tayo naman ay ginamit mo yung government property, let us say, at ibinigay mo sa ibang tao, ay baka ma-anti-graft ka, bakit sila finafaboran mo, hindi ikaw. Now, to me, there must be some other solution that we can take in order to, for safety's sake and for health's sake, to take out the people who are first, most threatened, because natinirahan sila sa baybay po ng estero, sa baybay ng ilog. Kanya pag nagkakaroon ng bagyo, silang una pong nasasalanta para mabigyan sila ng decent housing. But that is what the housing unit under, I hope, under Vice President Binay is supposed to handle. Ang nangyayari po siguro dito, ang natutulungan lang yung talagang empleyado sa malalaking korporasyon, etc. para sa kanilang pabahay. Pero yung nandun kasi doon nakatira sa baybay ng ilog, marahil, wala pong hanap buhay. Meron lang sila po, kariton tinutulak, o kaya natutulog lang sila sa sidewalk. So, napakahirap pong problema, but I know that it needs the positive leadership of a wise and a good president to be able to make a dent on that problem. And it's a problem that should encompass not just local government, but national government and even the private sector. From 0917-605-5739, Carlo Las Piñas, marami na presidente nagdaan kapag nagpunta sa ibang bansa. Pagbalik, marami investment, wala naman nakikita. Ang nakikinabang yung mga negosyante. Well, alam po ninyo, siyempre kailangan ng nagta-travel na pangulo or high government official. Pagbalik dito, ang dami ko nagawa, ang dami ko nakuha. Okay, ika nga dito, meron akong planong pagawa itong dam na ito dito, etc., etc. Ay bay, wala na siya sa pwesto, hindi pa natatapos yun. Many of the projects that are going to be started here, except for some impact projects, will probably take 3 to 4 years to implement. Ang makikinabang dito kung sino susunod kay Pinoy, kung marami siyang magagawa dito, most of that will happen or will be enjoyed by the public and taken for granted by the public pagka hindi na siya Pangulo. Alam po ninyo, yan talagang ganyan. Because ang pagpaplano, ang pag-i-implement, ang pag-bidding at lahat na yan, mahaba pong proseso. Kailangan sinisiyasat mong mga plano for adequacy, for appropriate strength. We live in a nation that is subjected to very powerful earthquakes. Palagay ninyo. So yun, kailangan titibayan ng maigi po yung mga gusali at yung mga infrastruktura na siyang ginagawa. Hindi po madali. Lalo na po yung construction ng dam. Pag yan po ay nawasak, libo-libong buhay po ang masasalanta at mawawasak kanya. Kuminsan, ang ano po dito, ang saying dito, how to make haste slowly. Hindi po kayang madaliin lahat ng bagay. Kaya ako, I'm a little bit sympathetic to Secretary Mar Rojas kasi mabagal ang takbo doon sa mga pagano. Ang dami sigurong kinailangang ayusin at diretsuhin dyan. Now, will he make mistakes? For sure he will make mistakes. Let's just hope they are not serious mistakes. At yung mga mistakes niya, hindi humahadlang, kundi nagpapadali sa proseso para ang pakinabang ng tao ay madali rin. From 0927-330-2958, Mako of Zamboanga City, good evening. What is the problem? Why is the Philippines not confronting China in any international venue? Don't you think that we should ask them to sit and talk about the problem? Why aren't we not moving in that direction? We probably asked them to sit down and talk. What will you do if they don't want to talk? They refuse to bring the issue to any international body. They want to solve it only between the Philippines and China. Okay. But that is like you talking to a dinosaur. Hindi mo na, lit-lit natin, laki-laki na niya. How can there be any kind of equality in that relationship? If they are wanting that kind of bilateral agreement, that can only be a relationship of domination and dominance. And as a free nation, in these times, hindi na pwede yan. It cannot be that might is right. No. Hindi komot kaya mo, tama ka. That's what international agencies are for, in order to distinguish whether the use of force or the use of threats is going to be appropriate. Tinira na tayo sa ating saging. Ayaw papasukin ng ating mga saging on a pretext. Ayaw papuntahin dito kunyari ang mga ibang inchik para maging turista sa atin. You know, ginagamit nila without announcing it and with being able to just wash their hands off it, tinitira tayo. But to me, we have to be under no illusion. Na ito is a struggle and we are being the guinea pig para makita ng ibang bansa dito sa nakalapit natin sa Southeast Asia kung ano ang maaring gawin ng China pagka sila hindi rin sumang-ayon. Sapagkat inaangkin naman ng China lahat ng tinatawag nilang South China Sea. Sabi nila, hindi, yan sa amin. Well, kanya dito, ang China, hindi pumipirma dun sa UNCLOS eh. Ayaw nilang pumayag dun. And I think they signed, they joined the UNCLOS. But, it's a fight for dominance, and the real issue is, who will have the greatest influence here? Is it China or America? Ayan. So, abangan ang susunod. From 0927-223-8245, Sir, wala na ba punishment na gagawin sa mga tao na kumuha ng illegal na evidence like banal and others? Well, what can I tell you? I hope that they will be held to account too for presenting evidence that is not properly obtained without, and nakakalungkot kung sila'y pababayaan lang, na ganun na lang, wala na. Well, sabi nga nila, when an institution is not able to hold to account people who are in the institution for what they do, that institution has lost its purpose for being. So the question that has to be asked is, will the House now appropriately take up in their ethics committee the actions of those people who brought illegal and evidence from tainted sources? Ay di siguro, dapat textan niyo yung congressman ninyo for them to file that and to move the ethics committee, the Blue Ribbon Committee, if that's possible, of the Senate as well as the House to act on it. 0919-221-2562, Edo Antipolo. Sino po ba nasa tama between Coco Pimentel and Mig Zubiri? Alam po ninyo, meron siya nasabing prinsipyo daw. Hindi sinasabi sang-ayon ako dito, na politics is addition. Okay, ngayon, sa nakikita nila dito, na sino man ang sumapi dito sa Liberal Party, mukhang mahina pagdating ng 2013 at sumusubo si Vice President Binay at tapos kasama pa ng suporta ni ERAP, parang class war yan, CDE versus AB. Ganun po ang parang lumalabas dyan. No? Ngayon, si Coco Pimentel, unfortunately, was raised to have principles by his good father. So, I don't know what will prevail. Abangan po natin at I do not want to predict what they are going to do. 0917-517-1025. Last text na ito. Hello, good evening po. Might I say, first, you have a fantastic show. Anyway, with what is happening right now, it seems that politicians don't follow the rule of law and our Constitution with all the railroading that is happening. I hope this does not get ignored. Marami tayong lawyer na gusto ipaglaban ang rule of law. Ano na kaya ang nangyari? Sapagkat kung wala ka namang standing to fight and to go and to file that case, what will you do? Ito lang ang Supreme Court natin, daming isyong iniiwasan, wala na rin si Corona. Okay? Ay, naubulit, sinisiglan na ako, wala tayong panahon po. Salamat sa pagtangkilik nyo sa gabing ito. And I hope I will see you again next week. God bless you.
Aso, lahat ng internet.
Hindi nire-release naman ng pork barrel kasi useless naman.
Mga patay, papabigyan ko ng 5,000 from my... So,
Marami
hindi ko
na nagsasabi na
Dahil baka mangyari, lahat ng madi-dismiss, mga hostage na lang para ma-reinstate.